don't know my team, that's how it goes, man. Please don't mind me. It is as if my whole life I dream. Winning is all I do, I think. Magic tricks when I roll up my sleeves. What you talking about, sleep? I stay up and get things done. I be like, ready, get me some. You couldn't prevent me from taking the lead in this league. I got stripes and stripes, striking. Best not hide your eyes. I'll just a whole dynamite. Let it ignite inside and still be able to remind them why. It's Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud. Any day, any night on site. All right, let's go.
Welcome, Spud Kingdom, to another episode, number 19 to be exact, of the Spud Kingdom podcast. Thank you, as always, for tuning in each and every week. I really appreciate you. Like I said before, and I'll say again and again and again, I cannot do this without you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in each and every week. I really appreciate it. So we got 3 games to go over from last week. We are officially the Mountain Division champions, so that's a plus. Even though last week was not the best week for games for us, we still won the Mountain Division. So congrats, Spud Kings. Glad to see that division championship come home. That's going to call for a lot more home playoff games in the next coming week. So if we win this series, we'll get another series at home. So this weekend, we got our last couple home games. The next weekend, we start the playoffs. So let's go. Let's go. Congrats, Spud Kings. We got 2 games remaining, as I was just saying, tonight and tomorrow. And then let's start things off with trivia. I hope you guys like the way I'm doing trivia now. I haven't really heard any response or anything. I'm just kind of doing it just for fun anyway and giving some people a little bit of hockey knowledge to begin with. So today's trivia question is, which team won the most Stanley Cups in the 1990s? So the answer to that question will be after we do all the recap and everything else. So remember that. I'll say the question one more time. It'll give you time to think about it. Which team won the most Stanley Cups in the 90s? So we'll get back to that answer here at the end of everything. Think about it for a minute. Look it up if you want to. I don't care. Check it out. See how good you do with the trivia question today. With that being said, let's get to the action, guys. Game 1 was Wednesday, March 12th, 2025 at Rock Springs versus the Grizzlies. The first period, we would see a plethora of shots, like an enormous amount of shots. Rock Springs had 16 shots on goal, and Spud Kings had 22. Like I said, an enormous amount of shots. That's like 2 periods worth of shots in 1 period. Rock Springs would strike first, though, at 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Joe Winagel would get his second goal of the year. And it would almost take like 9 minutes for the Spud Kings to finally answer back. At 12 minutes and 28 seconds, the Grim Reaper, Sammy Grimaldi, gets his 22nd goal of the year, and he was assisted by Leo Mantenuto for his 11th and Jonathan Radikainen for his 16th. And this one was a power play goal, too, and so it was nice to see them even things up. 4 minutes later, at 16 minutes and 52 seconds, also while on the power play, the Flying Finn, Jonathan Radikainen, gets his 11th goal of the year, and he was assisted by Ryan Rocky, his 11th assist of the year, and Lucas Ronner for his 24th. The period would end 2-1 Spud Kings. So good way to start it off. We started off pretty hot, pretty fresh. It took us a little while for the scoring to start, but with 22 shots on goal, a couple of them bound to go in, right? All right. So second period, where am I? Would be similar to the first. Scoring would be backwards, though, as in the fact that Rock Springs scored first in the first period, and then we scored the last 2 goals. This time, we're going to score the first 2 goals, and Rock Springs is going to capitalize at the end. So shots would be a little bit lower. Rock Springs had 6 shots on goal, and the Spud Kings had 14. So with that, it would take half the period before we saw any scoring. 10 minutes and 54 seconds. Andrew Schmidt would start things off in the period for his 30th goal of the year, and he was assisted by Easy Easton Edwards for his 36 and Sammy Grimaldi for his 9th. 7 minutes later, though, at 17 minutes and 42 seconds, Leo Mantenuto would capitalize in a Tyler Hansen high sticking penalty, and for his second goal of the year, and he was assisted by Lucas Ronner for his 25th, and Jonathan Radikainen once again for his 17th. 1 minute later, at about 18 minutes and 56 seconds, Joe Winagle would get his second goal of the game and his third on the year, and the period would end 4-2 Spud Kings. So we got 2 goals in the first, 2 goals in the second. They got 1 and 1. So far it's looking, pattern's looking pretty good for us. That's all I can say. We're looking pretty good at this point. Third period, we wouldn't see too much action though. Just 1 goal. That's all it would take in the period. Rock Springs would have 6 shots on goal. Spud Kings would have 14. The only goal coming at 3 minutes and 29 seconds. My dude, Bucky Warshaw would get his 7th goal in the year, and he was assisted by Tyler Atchison for his 11th and Will Strickland for his 14th. Period and game would end 5-2. Spud Kings win. Let's go. Spud Kings pick up the win. Save Bev stopped 26 out of 28 shots for a 929 save percentage. This was the best game that we played on the weekend, and you'll see here in a minute when I talk about the others. So I did put together a little highlight package for this particular game. So here is that for you guys to enjoy. Hope you guys like it. All right, so that was some highlights I threw together. It was basically just all the goals from the game. Mixed up a little bit of music, threw it on there. I hope you guys like it. I'm gonna keep doing this because now we're on video. Why not, right? Give you guys something to look at. Hell, Sports Center's been doing it like the entire time of the existence. I'm not as cool as Sports Center, but I'm gonna do my best, guys. So game 2 though would be Friday, March 14th, 2025. At the MAC versus Pueblo Bulls. This would be a very competitive game all the way through. The first period would be a battle between goalies as far as most of the game was technically, not just the first period, but most of the game was a battle of these 2 great goaltenders. Pueblo had 11 shots on goal. The Spud Kings would have 13. Only 1 goal in the period scored by Pueblo, though. And at 10 minutes, 13 seconds, Trevor Stewart would get his 9th goal of the year. And that would be all for the scoring for the period. Unfortunately, we were unable to capitalize on any of our shots. And Pueblo only got the 1. So the period would end 1-0, Pueblo up by 1. Second period, once again, battle of the 2 goaltenders. Let's see. We got Pueblo had 8 shots on goal. I think I got the shots on goal mixed up. The first period, they had 11 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 13. The second period, Pueblo had 8. We had 14. No scoring in the period, though, just a showcase of these 2 great goaltenders. The period would also end 1-0 with Pueblo in the lead. Third period would see the most action out of the entire game at this point. Pueblo would have 7 shots on goal, and the Spud Kings would have 16. Spud Kings would finally get on the board at 11 minutes, 18 seconds. Bravery Esplin would get his 9th goal of the year, and he was assisted by DJ the Beast McLeish for his 25th, and Lucas Ronner for his 26th. This would even things up at 1, but it wouldn't last that long. Pueblo would end up on the power play, and Mats Bay Marchanok, one of the Super Marchanok brothers, would get his 27th goal of the year, and he was assisted by his brother Simon. This was on the power play. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but this was devastating. Once we got this penalty, I was certain that this was going to give them the lead, just because those two brothers on the power play are almost unstoppable. And the way that Pueblo had been playing all night, it was just a matter of time before they were able to capitalize on one of their plays. And they would. So that would put them up 2-1. And that would all they needed, as David Peck would continue to shut down the Spud Kings. The period and game would end 2-1. Pueblo would get the points and the win for that one. So 1-1 so far. Went game 1 Wednesday, we win. Game 2 Friday, not so good. I mean, it's a good game. It was a great game. I was talking to you guys. I mean, some of the stuff that happened during the game was just aggravating at points and times of the game. But, I mean, it was a good game. It was a really good game. Game 3 was Saturday, March 15th, 2025. It's Ogden Mustangs in Ogden at the barn. This game would be just as great of a battle as the previous night. First period would be Ogden would win the shot battle for sure, but the Spud Kings would be the ones to get the score. Ogden would have 15 shots on goal. Spud Kings would have 10. Only one goal in the period, as I just mentioned, that would be the Spud Kings at 12 minutes and 26 seconds. Ryan Rothke would get his 6th goal of the year, and he was assisted by the Flying Finn, Jonathan Radikainen. I swear I've said his name so many times. Got his 18th assist on the play, and Leo Mantenuto for his 12th. This would be the only goal of the period, and the first period would end 1-0 Spud Kings. Second period, Spud Kings would win the shot battle once again, but both teams would score this time around. Ogden had 5 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 12. Spud Kings would score first at 11 minutes, 10 seconds. Liam Phillip would get his 7th goal of the year, and he was assisted by Lucas Ronner for his 27th and Carter Davis for his 9th. The Mustangs would answer back, though, late in the period at 19 minutes, 21 seconds. Owen Hendrickson would get his 5th goal of the year, and the period would end 2-1 Spud Kings. Third period would be an Ogden period. Ogden had 12 shots on goal, and Spud Kings only had 7 this time around. Spud Kings would get a goal to extend their lead. At 6 minutes, 33 seconds, Owen Beyer would get his 4th goal of the year, and he was assisted by Max von Klinggraf for his 13th and Andrew Schmidt for his 31st. Then Ogden would start attacking. At 12 minutes, 48 seconds, Tommy Fetterman would get his 11th goal of the year. So they would answer back on that one. And then a few minutes later, at 18 minutes and 41 seconds, Owen Henderson would get his 2nd of the game and his 6th of the year, and ties the game, and the period would end 3-3, all tied up. Man, I mean, we were doing so good, and we gave up these 2 goals late in the period, and it was just kind of devastating and defeating in a way. So to send us into overtime, and overtime would only have 1 shot on goal, and it was by the Mustangs, and that's all anybody needed. Jacob Marguerite, I think it's Marguerite or Marguerite. He gets his 1st of the year. It was his 1st goal of the year, and it was a big goal. It ended up winning the game for the Mustangs, sending everybody home happy in Ogden, and everybody over on our side of the border pretty angry, pretty ticked off. But the Mustangs won 4-3. The OT loss did secure the Mountain Division for the Spud Kings, because we did pick up the point right there. They didn't announce that we actually secured the division, though, until a few days later. I don't know if they were going over like tiebreakers or whatnot, because technically Ogden had 3 games left and we had 2 games left. They won 1, so we both now have 2 games left, and they're only 4 points behind us. But somehow, some way, whatever tiebreaker was used, we win the division. So no matter what happens tonight and tomorrow night, the division is ours. So congratulations, Spud Kings, for getting that big old. It was a loss, but we got a big W. We took the division. We are the division champs. Mountain Division champs for the first time. Congrats, boys. Congrats. So, with that, the Spud Kings secured the division, but it would set another win. Yep. So we're 4 points ahead of Ogden as of right now. The standings don't really mean too much for the rest of the season, but I'll still keep you posted on that. Stats leaders. We're going to go over, we'll start with the goaltender. Durkin is now number 2 in the NCDC with a 1.98 goals against average and number 6 in the NCD with a 931 save percentage. But he is first in the NCDC in wins with 27. So big props to the man Durkin right there. Easton Edwards is first on the team with 63 points and tied for 4th in the NCDC. Edwards is also first on the team with 36 assists and 8th in the NCDC. Andrew Schmidt is second on the team with 61 points and 7th in the NCDC. Schmidt is also second with 31 assists and just outside the top 20. The 20th position was 33 assists, I believe, is what I remember seeing. So he's right there. He's almost in the top 20. But Grimaldi, I have to announce, and so Schmidt, though, is first on the team with 30 goals and tied for 3rd in the NCDC with that. And then Edwards is second on the team with 27 goals and 9th in the NCDC. And 3rd on the team, cracking the top 20, tied for 15th in the NCDC, Sammy Grimaldi with 22 goals. So congrats for having 3 players in the top 20 in goal scoring in the league. That's amazing. That's incredible, guys. I think that's the first time it's been done all year, even with Pueblo having the Marchionok brothers and both of them being up top. I don't think they have a 3rd guy in there, so that is quite incredible. With that, let's go to my 3 stars of the week. My 3rd star, Brian Rothke. Now, this one could have been Rothke. It could have been Grimaldi. It could have been Schmidt. They all put up a really good battle all weekend. All 3 of those guys had 1 goal, 1 assist. So basically point flip, but also Ryan Rothke hasn't been on here, I don't think, since he joined the team. He hasn't been on my 3 stars list. So with that, he gets the nod. So the 3rd star of the week is Ryan Rothke with 1 goal and 1 assist. My 2nd star of the week is Lucas Ronner with 4 assists. And then my 1st star of the week is the Flying Finn Jonathan Radikainen with 1 goal and 3 assists on the weekend. 4 total points. Like I said, I felt like I was saying his name a lot when I was doing the highlights and stuff. So congratulations to those guys. It doesn't mean anything to those guys. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But those are my 3 stars of the week. You guys can hit me up on Facebook and let me know what you guys think. Do you have a different 3 stars or do you agree? I do have a hockey rule of the week this week because it came up in one of our games. Somebody got penalized for this. So I was like, crap, I haven't talked about this one yet. So the hockey rule of the week is embellishment. An embellishment is to penalize a player who exaggerates or fakes an injury or reaction to a penalty in attempt to draw a penalty and against an opponent to make a foul look more serious than it was. Also, it can be called for flopping or taking a dive. It is only a 2-minute minor, but basically, say a guy gets slashed in the leg or something, and then he goes down grabbing it, screaming in pain, and he gets the other guy a 5-minute penalty because it was actually a major because now you caused injury to this guy. But the whole time he was faking and he comes out on the power play and he's just fine skating around. He might get an embellishment. Or if the referee knows he's faking from the beginning, he's going to get an embellishment. Another thing is sometimes you'll see a player skate into somebody's stick and just take a dive or a flop, as they would call it in basketball or football. That would also be considered embellishment. Basically, acting. It's a fancy word for saying you're acting, quit it, 2 minutes, go sit down for a minute. Stop acting like a baby. So my hockey rule of the week is embellishment this week. Getting back to trivia. So if you guys don't remember, the trivia question was, which team won the most Stanley Cups in the 90s? Some of you probably looked this up. Some of you probably know the answer, and you're like, it's a trick question, dude. Kind of is. There's two teams, both of them with 2 Stanley Cups in the 90s. If you got both of these teams, great. If you got one or the other, awesome. But the 2 teams are where the Detroit Red Wings had 2 Stanley Cups, and the Pittsburgh Penguins also had 2 Stanley Cups in the 90s. And then there was like a few singles spread out in between everybody else. So that is the trivia question for the week. Hopefully you got it right. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm going to continue doing something similar to this every week now. Unless you guys decide you want the old one back, just let me know. Hit me up, guys. Talk to me. I have Facebook and all those, Instagram. I have X, Twitter X, whatever you want to call it. I have all that stuff for a reason. So hit me up, guys. Not just for me to keep you guys informed, it's for you guys to have a forum to talk back and forth with amongst each other and with me. So yeah, hit me up, guys. Let's start some talking. Anyway, let's recap. We went 1-2 last week. Not the greatest, but it did secure the Mountain Division. We are Mountain Division champions. My 3 stars of the week were the 3 R's: Ryan Rothke, Lucas Ronner, and Rat-a-tat-tat, the Flying Finn, Jonathan Radikainen. So those are my 3 stars. 2 games remaining, both of them versus Pueblo. And I don't know if you guys see what I see. Well, I know you see what I see because I talked to some of you. But Pueblo has been on a tear since right before, I want to say winter break, before the holiday break that we had, because they made some big moves just as we did. And they have been on a tear, and they have been tough to play for us. So these are going to be 2 outstanding games this weekend. It is the 2 last games of the regular season. Get out there, cheer our boys on, pound on that glass, make some noise, ring them bells, do whatever it takes. We got these boys, got to get them fired up and get them ready for the playoffs. We have to cheer them on. Hopefully they can feel our energy and pick up these 2 wins and get that motivation rolling. And with all that, guys, I want to thank you once again for listening to me. I love giving you guys these replays every week. I hope you're enjoying the highlights, trivia, and everything else. Appreciate you. I can't do it without you. Once again, I can't. It's impossible. I mean, I'd be talking to myself and watching my own videos for no reason. But you guys are watching. You guys tell me about it. I just picked up a few new viewers and listeners out there. So to you guys, welcome to the Spud Kingdom podcast. I'm your host, as always, Woody. And as always, go Spud King.
K-I-N-G, kings, meaning we seen things. And without a cheat sheet, a walking beast, no wanting peace until I'm knee deep in the rewards I need to retrieve. Keep the receipt once I receive what I work for, but never relieve. Better watch out, if you don't move, get ready to fall down. If you don't root for my son, I'm not proud. Like what you talking about, I'll pop out, even if it's hard out. Somebody let the dogs out, like they're coming for the dog out before being brought out. Whoa, they might need to keep me locked out because I will stomp in my stomping ground. So let's know this is Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud. Any day, any night, on site, alright, let's go. Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud. Any day, any night, on site, alright, let's go.